What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Panda here. I hope you guys have a ton of diamonds and summons saved up because this weekend summon banners are beyond wild. Let's dive right in. And welcome back. Like I said, guys, this weekend's banners are crazy. Let's talk about that and more in this weekly event recap. Let's see what's leaving, let's see what just left, and let's see what's coming. We'll start as normal in the Oracle's trials. So as you can see here, we just had a Vault in the Sands end. This was one of the first events that had copies of Gogron for the current Crowdor Fusion. So hopefully you were able to get at least 1850 points. That's not a huge investment of your time. Hopefully you were able to get that done and get the copy of Gogron. Same thing with the Hero Training. This was the first event of the hero training for Gogron as well. And these were relatively easy. I mean, 1850 points for the dungeon, the gear raid, and then 2250 for the hero training really isn't a ton. I mean, if we go and we look at the points required, you know, I mean, this is pretty basic. I mean, it's not a lot of points, right? Because, you know, just taking a character up, you know, like 1 6-star, like going from, you know, from base to 6-star, like that's probably, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but that feels like that's probably maybe 1 6-star, a couple 5-stars, you know, like nothing super crazy. Again, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head. I know I knew it at one point, but I don't remember now. But really, this isn't too difficult. I think this is a very free-to-play friendly event. We also just had the Mystery of Artifacts event start yesterday. We are closing in on the finishing of the second day here. And this is, again, the event that has a Gogron copy. So definitely make sure you go in here and get this completed. We did also just have the Brave Conquest start at Reset last night. And so now you can actually double dip. You'll see that I actually haven't done any of this. This is my first time logging in for the day because I had a lot of stuff going on today. But I was able to, I waited on my AMR specifically for Brave Conquest so that I could get both of them done at the same time. Another thing to keep in mind, guys, is we do have Duel of the Champions. I have completed my first portion, which was getting my Gogron copy. I am going to finish it up and get the last 48 points that I need to get the Psychic and the Gems and the Epic Soul Stone, or Skill Stone, rather, of course. But at least being able to get to the 150 points for the Gogron copy is really important. We do have a Tales of the Smith event that starts 2 hours from now at Reset. This will have a Gogron copy as well. So provided you have the 4 you've already gotten, plus this will give you the 5th one, this will give you the 6th one, this should give you the 7th one, and you should be able to get the 8th one from the Mystery of Artifacts, which means you should be able to have your second Draga ready to go after this set of events, which means we're already almost halfway done with the fusion, which is really exciting. If you haven't also already seen, we did get the Hero Reset book. This is in response to the Borus Nerf that happened. And so this will give you the chance to reset a hero. If you want to reset the hero, you can, and it will give you, you know, the stuff you invested into him. This is something that I'm contemplating on whether or not I want to do. I do have a little over 2 weeks to decide. It would give me all of my stuff back, so all of my skill stones, which could be very helpful. But I'm not sure. I want to talk about it with some other people. I want to know. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have Boreas, if you've decided to reset him or not. I'm not sure. He seems still viable, but I'm not sure. I'm still kind of on the fence. But this is an option you guys have, so definitely don't, you know, be super surprised, you know, if a lot of people are doing it, because I think a lot of people will be doing it. Then, of course, we have the event pre-registration that's coming up. This is, I did not mean to click that. That popped something else on my other screen. Sorry about that. But we have this, so make sure you come in here and add it. You just get some free stuff, 30 gems, 50 energy, not bad. Then we can go into what is coming in the future. So starting tonight at Reset, we have the new gear dungeon coming to the game. So this is a short-term event that you'll be able to go in and do extra gear dungeons, and you'll be able to get these unidentified foundry gear pieces that you can identify and get stuff, along with random ancient mythic gear chests, and the pieces of gear that you can then craft into other things using the Gear Forge. So this is a new system that I actually haven't talked about. I am going to make a full video on just the Gear Den dungeon and all the new stuff that comes, but unlike some of the other content creators, I don't have access to, the test servers and all that kind of stuff. And I like to see stuff in game before I make content on it, because I don't want to talk about what could be. I want to talk about what is, as often as possible. So we will make a video on all of this, so don't worry about it too much. You can go check out those other content creators. I know Fastidious did like a whole deep dive, including like testing teams in the actual dungeon itself on the test server. I think it was the test server, might have been Forerunner, I'm not positive, but he did a ton of stuff with it. Really awesome content. Definitely go check that out if you want that content now, or you can hang out and wait, and I'll be making content on it here very shortly. But then we also have a ton of other stuff that's starting. So first things first is we have the Tales of the Smith that we talked about, and then we have a Corridor of Glory starting with a Gogron copy in it. We also have the Festive Frenzies, which is just, it's a big group summon. We've had these in the past, however many summons people do. Once we hit certain breakpoints, we get free rewards. This is just free stuff. The whales are going to do it without anyone else summoning, so don't worry about it too much. Then we have the Scroll Expiration and the 7-day sign-in. We'll just get some free stuff. Really cool, awesome, we love that. Then we have the things that you guys are really, really excited about. First thing is the Treasures in the Deep. And we're going to talk about this a little more specifically in just a moment. We're going to go into the event tab and actually look at all the stuff that's coming with it. But this is another special event that we are getting, similar to the event that's come with things such as Falsha, Gwendolyn, all of those kinds of things. And that is because the video we released yesterday is officially true, guys. We are getting the rerun of the 250 summon guaranteed for the Reeve banner. But not only that, we are getting our first 15x summoning banners. So not only are we getting the new, or the rerun, not the new, but the rerun guarantee for Reeve, but we are getting the 15x on both the regular summon banner here and on the Reeve banner, which is really, really exciting, especially with the dilution of, the pool, right? With more and more heroes being added into the game, it becomes more and more difficult to get those specific heroes that you're looking for. So having a 15x greatly increases your chances of being able to get that. So this is really, really exciting. Now, I want you to keep in mind that this does require 250 summons, which is about 22,000 gems or summons equivalent to that. Remember, every summon is 88 gems. Of course, some of that you're going to get refunded in the form of 3 stars that you can then return, etc. But this is really exciting because I don't have Reeve. I really want Reeve. I do have Rozok, so I'll be able to get this huge bonus here from the bond skill, which is exciting. Reeve is going to do wonders for me in places like Immortal Codex Conqueror. I'm just really excited. I'm definitely going to be summoning for him, especially because this banner is really good. Don't get me wrong. This Springtime Divine Summoning and Invocation of Summonings, very, very good banner for a couple of different reasons. One, Midan, one of the best epic healers in the game, almost mandatory for the healer codex for the Wasteland Titan because her ultimate dispels debuffs. Very, very important. Highly recommend if you somehow don't have a maxed out Midan, this is a banner worth pulling on because she is very, very good. She's required, like I said, for that. Next we have is Nasalt. Nasalt, one of the best damage dealers for the brand new Immortal Codex that just came out, the Boreas one that requires you to apply dots on targets. Nasalt is one of the best people for that fight. Then we have Mariel. Mariel's not that great. This is kind of the crappy champion that they throw in there just to, even out the odds. She's not bad, but she's nothing super crazy. She's not amazing. She's okay. But then we have Rozok. Rozok is really, really good for a couple different reasons. One, he can be a left side damage dealer for Gear Raid 3, but he also has that experience gain passive as well as the bond skill with Captain Reeve, which if you're going for Captain Reeve, you're going to want a copy of Rozok to buff up those passives. But then we have probably the 2 best single target DPS champions in the game for Guild Boss, Zillatu and Hex. These are both great champions. Now for me, I already have both of these champions, so I'm not super interested in pulling on this banner. I already have an A5 Midan, I already have an A5 Mariel, and I already have an A5 Nasalt, so I don't need any of these epics, and I already have 1 or more copies of all of these legendaries, so I'm not super invested into pulling on this. I may throw a Divine Summon or 2 at it to see if I can get an additional copy of Zillatu for the, the A1. or potentially for Hex. I mean, it's definitely something I'm thinking about, but all of my blue summons and all of my diamonds are going to be going towards Reeve until I get him. Whether it's before 250 or at 250, I will be pulling on the Reeve banner 100%, because I really, really want him. is the for lack of a better idea, for last, he's been gone for so long. I haven't been able to get him. I wasn't playing when he came out. I really, really want him. I'm going all in on this banner. All right. Then we have an Ancient Summoning banner that is coming out. It does not have any 10 or 15x on it. However, there is some other interesting news, which is where we're going to go over here to the notice. Where is it? It's in one of these. Where is it? I could have swore I saw it. It's not showing up now, though. It was a hero thing. There it is. Here we go. New hero info, the Fallen Justice Valderon. So Valderon is officially joining the pool of heroes that you can get from the Ancient Summoning pool. He is amazing looking. Look at how amazing this guy looks. He's so cool. He also is a really, really good champion. We'll probably do a video specifically on him. I would not recommend summoning on the banner this weekend because it's just a plain banner. So he'll have the exact same rates as all of the other lords, so it's not really worth pulling for him now, in my personal opinion. I think you'd be better off waiting for the 10 and or 15x, whichever they decide to do for him. I don't know if the 15x is permanent. I don't remember what it said. I think it might be permanent, but either way, I think it's better to wait, specifically on Ancient Summoning banners, for a 15x or a multiple x of the champion that you're looking for, right? So if you're looking for a very specific Ancient Summoning exclusive lord, I would wait until he or she is on the banner in order to have a chance to get him, because there's a good chance you won't get them outside of those banners, right? All right, so let's go look at the other stuff that is in the game. So we have all of these updates. Here we go. So summoning pool. It's been noted that with the continued release of legendary heroes, the chance of summoning rate up and the original special summoning events 10x has been affected. So we decided to enhance the drop rates of rate up heroes in special summoning events from 10 to 15. So yeah, it is permanent. Awesome. We love that. Then we have the gear dungeon. This is what we talked about. So gear types. We have new gear type variant gear. Commanders can obtain unidentified gear in the gear dungeon, which can be identified in the foundry to turn into variant gear. So the two types of variant gear we have for two sets is the Wicked Vengeance, which is 40% crit damage and 10% attack. This is a really nice set. I have a feeling this is probably going to be the best left side set for most DPS, because it just makes sense, right? It's basically the crit damage set we have now with some attack, which is pretty valuable, especially with how the damage calculation math works in this game. Attack is very important. Light's Grace, healing effect plus 30 is not amazing, but it's not bad. But this 10% rage regen, beautiful. We love that. There's not a lot of ways to get rage regen in the game, so this is huge. I actually think this is going to be a really, really good left side piece for support champions. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this go on to people like even Dolores potentially, just because rage is so important. I think maybe attack percent will still be better on the left side in that calamity piece, but we'll have to see. And then we have some right side sets. Hell's Lament, when the ultimate is triggered, increased damage by 30% and crit damage by 40%, lasting for 5 seconds. So this is basically kind of like the Wisdom set or the Soulbound Arcana set, but it's a temporary boost like Wisdom, but it's a stronger boost than Wisdom with a 30% damage and 40% crit damage. This feels pretty good, specifically better than Soulbound Arcana in shorter time frames, right? So maybe like Arena, right, for example, or on champions that are doing big damage within their ultimate, but they have a very long ultimate duration, or like time frame to build up, a long time in between ultimates. So for example, like Hatsut would do really well with Soulbound Arcana because her ultimate builds up really, really, really quickly. Same thing with Wrath, right? But someone who takes a long time to build up to their ultimate, it could be better to use Hell's Lament instead, because you're going to get 30% damage and 40% crit damage, quickly in that 5-second window, which could be really, really good. Then we have Tempered Will, which is 15% damage reduction. I think this is the first time we've seen actual damage reduction on a piece of gear. Everything has been like HP, defense, things like that. That's really nice, though. For each enemy blocked, increase defense by 5%, stacking up to 4 times. So this is basically 15% damage reduction and 20% defense. This is really, really nice. This is really good. I think this is going to be the mandatory set in the Conqueror, or I'm sorry, not in the Conqueror, in the Immortal Codex tank boss. Because you're blocking, that's what you're doing. You're going to get 20% defense, 15% damage reduction, and you're going to be blocking the whole time. Yeah, this is going to be almost mandatory to get into those top spots now, I think, for sure. Let's go to Unshaken Will. When deployed, HP plus 20%. That's pretty good. When being attacked, recovers 5% of max HP. Triggers up to 1 time every 5 seconds. That's actually not bad. This could be really good for champions that have like a ton of HP, both fighters and tanks, right? Like, so for example, this could be really good on Olog. Because he has HP plus 20%. That means his shields are that much stronger. Could be really, really good. And when he does get attacked, he's going to recover HP. So if he does get brought down below that shield, he could do really well there. Could be really good on some other champions as well, like Baron, where, he's going to be losing that health, so he can be healed back up, and then he has the shield, heal back up while the shield is taking the damage. Could be really good. Definitely not a bad set. I don't know if it's as good as Tempered Will, but I could see it be good for sure. And then Morale. I actually really, really like this set, mainly because you could just put it on anyone, right? And then when they're on the field, you just get 4% damage. It's not like Invigoration where you have to have it on multiple people. It's just a flat boost. I mean, it's nice. It's nothing super crazy, but it's nice, right? All right, then we go on to the hero adjustment. So this is the Borus Nerf. It sucks, guys. We can't change it, right? We have to get over it, unfortunately. As a Borus owner myself, I'm glad I was able to take advantage of how strong he was before this hit. But I'm not surprised that they did decide to move forward with this, because he was very strong and overwhelming in a lot of game modes. So we'll see how he works out after the nerf goes in, and go from there. But we get a pretty huge loss of damage here, about 50% damage here, and 5 seconds. Yeah, 5-second less duration, but the rage cap gets reduced. So we went from 1,300 rage cap down to 1,100, and then 1,200 down to 1,000. So he's able to do it more often, but it's less duration and less damage. So it probably evens out to be relatively okay. Then we go into here, and the anti-healing goes up to 4 seconds, but the damage goes down 5%, 8%, 9%, what was that, 14%, and 15%? Did I do that math right? Something like that. Ultimately, it's 15% less damage, which is big. That's big. But he still does the anti-healing job, which is really important, right? That's really, really good. Then we have the Frozen Purification. So when deployed, he deals damage to up to 10 enemies. This ultimately goes down 20% in a wide range. He lost 1 tile range. So that's not super surprising. This was never crazy. This first part was never crazy, so I'm not super concerned about this. But then inflicts freeze on them for 1 second instead of 2 seconds. Again, that sucks, but it's not crazy, I don't think. The effect triggers 1 time every 18, 17, 17, 16, 15 seconds afterwards. So this actually happens a little more often. 1 extra second taken off of the cooldown. But then during Eternal Ice Haven, the skill triggers interval is reduced by an extra 9 seconds. So it ends up being the same in the ultimate as it was before, but it just deals 20% less damage, and it's a little shorter of a range. So I think in PvE, this will be completely fine. I don't think this will change anything in PvE, but in PvP, it will change a lot, I think, because the freeze duration is less, so there's going to be less stalling in places like GVG. So yeah, I think it's okay. I don't think it's crazy, but you know, we go from there. Guild War changes, nothing super crazy here. And then just some optimization of stuff, nothing super, super crazy. So that is cool. Yeah. I don't think there's anything crazy. But yeah, so here is the resources that we talked about, etc. I think we'll do another video, like a separate video, talking specifically about the gear dungeon, like I said before. But overall, I mean, we've got some good stuff happening. We've got some good stuff coming up. So make sure, save up your diamonds for this weekend so you can get the Reeve if you're going to get him. Make sure you're finishing up your events like your Brave Conquest. Make sure to do your Tales of the Smith when it starts in 2 hours. Don't forget about Hero Reset. You've got 15 days, probably a little less than 15 days by the time this video is posted, to decide if you want to do this on anybody. But yeah, I mean, I think we've got some fun stuff that's coming here. Fun stuff in the pipeline, as one might say. You know, I'm super excited. I think this is a fun time for the game. We've got some cool events coming. You know, we've got some cool champions that are on the way. We also, and this is actually a little extra thing. If you didn't already know this, this was talked about, but we actually have an Immortal Codex part in the game, in the raid section. So you can see all of your stuff about the Immortal Codex right here at any time, whether it's open or not. It also tells you when it opens, so we're actually able to see it in advance when it's opening. So the next one will come in about 5 days from now. But not only that, we got a little bit of a sneak peek about another boss that's coming to the game, the Pelagios boss, the Furious Torrent. So this is a boss that I haven't heard of, but it's a new boss that's coming to the game, and it gives you a ton of information about the boss, which is really cool. You can actually see the boss's skills, so we can kind of get an idea of what that is, which is really cool. But you'll also be able to eventually, you can't see it now because we haven't done it since it's been out, but it will eventually keep your highest record, which is really cool. So you can see exactly what you used last time, or whatever you used that got you your highest score, which I think is really helpful. So another little sneak peek there. We'll probably go over this a little bit more specifically later. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the video, guys. We have lots of cool stuff that's coming to the game. I'm really excited about it. Hope you guys are too. Let me know in the comment section down below what you're the most excited about. Personally, I think for me, it's Captain Reeve, because of course this is a gacha game, and at the end of the day, summoning is the whole point behind gacha games. But I really like that they're continuing to bring us really awesome stuff like this new gear raid. I'm really, really excited about it. Hopefully we can get some really good gear during the event. And go from there. But yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you liked the video, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We are pushing really hard for that 5K sub by the end of the year, and we are making good progress. We're working our way up there. I think we got about 10 new subs this last week, so that's exciting. So let's keep pushing it up. Hit that sub button, tell your friends, get us up there. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.